Hey, it's that Deadeye guy. Let's talk about E3 2018. I didn't actually attend the expo, but I do have a few buddies who did. The general consensus is that the whole event is a massive shit show, and most of the fans who aren't media or developers generally don't get to do much besides wait massive crowds for hours just to play a single demo. From what I hear, it's very reminiscent of PAX East that I used to attend out in Boston in terms of crowds. Luckily, there are enough cameras and media around that you really don't have to go to E3 to take in everything that's shown off there. From the omega cringy announcements no one cares about to the kick-ass cinematics and gameplay trailers. Here's some of the titles I took particular interest in from this year's expo. They are in no particular order, and this list is not comprehensive. These games struck a particular chord for me on the hypo-meter based on what I saw from the conference. From the developer of the extremely well-made Witcher 3 comes a new IP set in the not-too-distant future of an alternate timeline, Cyberpunk 2077. While the setting isn't that far off chronologically, this game actually has a handful of major historical differences. Basically, everything for the United States goes terribly wrong from the Cold War onwards. The world economy collapses, most of the nations on Earth turn against America for a wide range of political reasons, and the country itself is thrown into turmoil with a 25% homeless rate. This sets the stage for a pretty bleak atmosphere in a fictional California city, rife with themes like neon art styles, mega corporations, and widespread human technical augmentation. And that's where Cyberpunk 2077 drops you in what the developer describes as a first-person RPG. Games like this from proven developers don't come around often. Cyberpunk also isn't a style that is tackled all that often either, and major fans of the genre from both film, television, and comic books seem to be pretty excited for this one. CD Projekt Red is well respected for the Witcher series, with the third installment being heralded by many as a Western RPG masterpiece. I'm very excited to see what they can do with this new setting and how they approach the themes typically associated with Cyberpunk. I'm a fan of the Dark Souls series, so any Souls-like game that gets put out by From Software is going to immediately pique my interest. The growing populace of sadomasochists who enjoy these types of unforgiving titles are going to see a lot of familiar mechanics from what was shown of Sekiro: Shadows Die Twice. The two biggest changes from Dark Souls are the general art style, as it's set in feudal Japan rather than the high fantasy we're used to, as well as the addition of the grappling hook that can facilitate some major gameplay changes. I usually play melee builds in these games, and one of the challenging mechanics of that playstyle is getting into close range, dealing some damage, and getting out without getting hit. Being able to swing into and around enemies will add some pretty cool visuals on top of giving melee players another tool to play with. I can only imagine that it won't be as simple as flying around enemies without worrying about taking damage. The baddies in Sekiro will likely be wise to your grappling hook and will be ready to take you out. It just wouldn't be a Souls game otherwise. While Sekiro probably won't innovate a whole lot from the Souls formula, it really doesn't have to. People love that formula, and From Software has demonstrated that they have the ability to churn out quality titles that fit the mold. Sure, it looks like it's cutting out all multiplayer and PvP from the game, but I'd still wager it's going to be a lot of fun to play. I'm looking forward to seeing more of Sekiro. Nintendo came out swinging with the roster announcement for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Every single character that has ever been in a Smash title will be returning for Ultimate. That means we'll get Solid Snake, Cloud, Sonic, Ryu, and many others that a lot of us thought we'd never see in a Smash title ever again. And that's not even mentioning that we'll also be getting new characters like Ridley from Metroid. On top of the roster, they are changing up some major mechanics. You can no longer dodge around indefinitely. Rapidly dodging will eventually tire out the character, slowly wearing down defenses with the addition of a fatigue-like system. While perfect defense or parrying was an ability for some characters in the past, it's now being added as a mechanic for everyone. You can also air dodge directionally, as well as use Final Smash abilities in more ways than one for most of the characters on the roster. I've loved the Smash Bros. Series since the original. The announcements of the roster and enhancements to gameplay are certainly welcome and will change up a lot of the competitive scene. Even casual fans of not just Nintendo titles but gaming in general will definitely love all of the content that will be available here. As long as Nintendo puts the same polish on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate that they are generally known for, this is going to be a day one purchase. This one kinda came out of nowhere. For a console game, Ghost of Tsushima looks absolutely beautiful, and I love the aesthetic of the art style. There wasn't much shown, but the combat in this samurai action game looks pretty awesome, putting you behind the katana of a wandering ronin during the first Mongol invasion of Japan. It is going to be open world, allowing you to explore the Japanese countryside and completing the main objective of what I can only assume to be the defeat of the Mongolian horde. I'm an absolute sucker for games with historical settings, so I hope the developers keep everything as true to reality as they can, at least when it comes to the environment and world map. Looking forward to reading more about this title. So, I'm starting to think even Kojima doesn't even really know what Death Stranding is supposed to be about. The man is a living meme at this point. From what little has been shown of it, the only actual gameplay we've seen confirms that it's going to be a third-person action maybe shooter? Not unlike the Phantom Pain. Visually, the game certainly looks great, and it's pretty clear that Sony has given Kojima a blank check and probably a whole lot of time to be able to do whatever he wants with this title. He's got a beautiful engine and some big names for his motion capture and voice acting. At the very least, after this year's E3, we at least know some tidbits about the story in that the main character is a delivery man of some kind in a post-apocalyptic place that may or may not be Earth. I'm pretty hyped for it, but I do have some doubts whether he can pull off what he did for the Metal Gear series. What I worry about is that this game might become more of an art piece than an actual game. Beautiful graphics and an interesting story will not save a title that isn't fun to play. Let's hope Hideo still has the magic. While I didn't get any news regarding the Final Fantasy VII Remake, we did get several trailers from the soon-to-be-released Kingdom Hearts 3. What we saw gave us some more gameplay footage, as well as confirming the worlds of Frozen and Pirates of the Caribbean to be into the game. Kingdom Hearts 3 has probably been in development for about a decade, and it looks like it's going to live up to the hype. It looks gorgeous, and from what is being talked about on the show floor, is a blast to play. I'm not even going to bother to try to explain the story, most of it doesn't make any sense. It also looks like the Disney Channel level dialogue is going to be continuing here.
Yes. Surprising, isn't it?
Doesn't matter. This game looks fantastic, and visiting all of the different worlds from Square Enix and Disney is going to feel like actually playing through a Pixar movie. Day one purchase. I haven't been hyped for an Assassin's Creed title in a long time, nor have I played one completely through since 3, which left a bad taste in my mouth with how utterly boring the main protagonist was. While I know it's difficult to create a character as likable and interesting as Ezio Auditore, from what we've seen from Odyssey, there should be enough here to rekindle my interest. The game looks beautiful, and I absolutely love the setting of ancient Greece. If Ubisoft isn't going to give us feudal Japan, this, in my mind, was the next best thing. There hasn't been a whole lot released on the gameplay side. From what was shown at the Expo, all of the standards we've come to expect from the series are here. A major factor in determining whether this game will be just another title in the series or something that stands out on its own will be how Ubisoft is going to innovate on the actual gameplay front. Also, I haven't played one of these titles in some time, but the whole sci-fi aspect of the storyline has always been stupid and a turnoff for me as a player. Please keep that to a minimum, Ubisoft. Doom 2016 is the best single-player FPS experience I've had in recent memory. It had all of the essential features required to make a truly great shooter. Tight controls, great weapons, hordes of enemies that are always enjoyable to kill in interesting ways, and well-crafted environments. Doom had them all in spades. It's safe to say that when I saw the trailer for its direct sequel, Doom Eternal, I was more than ecstatic. They wouldn't even have to change much of the formula from the title a few years back. Enhance the graphics, give me a whole new roster of demons to destroy, and a new set of weapons to destroy them with. Throw in some environments from Earth to supplement the Mars and Hell-based levels, and you've got little old me buying Doom Eternal at launch. Rip and tear. The one thing I took away from E3 2018 is that I guess I'm going to have to finally suck it up and purchase a PS4 Pro and a 4K television. There's just too many console exclusives that I want to play, as much as I wish they could be had on my gaming PC. Either way, we've got some awesome games coming in the near future, and I'm pretty excited about that. Thanks for watching. What E3 announcements have you hyped? Let me know down below. If you'd like to help the channel, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that thumbs up and subscribe button. Until next time.